This is probably the statement that got witness D killed. May his soul rest in peace.
On the evening of 15 April 2022, I was home with my son when I received a phone call around 9 o'clock, 2100 hours, multiple phone calls from both normal and over WhatsApp from one Kobus Janse van Rensburg, whom is the owner of Ghost Guard Security situated in Springs, informing me that he had an operation planned for that evening and that he required my assistance in knocking the house of a suspect suspected of a warehouse invasion and robbery in Brakpan, and that he has law enforcement members assisting him. Paragraph 3. I informed him that I am unable to assist as I'm looking after my son, as my wife is at hospital with my youngest son who was ill. Eventually, I gave in and he forwarded me via WhatsApp a pin location for a meeting up and operational briefing. This location was shared on a WhatsApp group we, the team that was supposed to apprehend the suspect, used for stock recoveries. The pin location provided by Kobus Janse van Rensburg took me to Sally's village in Brakpan, where some SAPS, EMPD, and private security members waited for us. Upon my arrival, I found Jaco Hanekom, a SAPS informer of ill repute, Viandre Pretorius, a person that frequently presents himself as a SAPS member, Constable John Marie Extien from North East Rand Flying Squad, Constable Zander Fritz, Reservist Constable from SAPS Brakpan, with 2 SAPS Brakpan officers unknown to me. Present were also EMPD officers Kershaw Lee Stolz, Aiden McKenzie, Etienne van der Walt from Titan Security, and other members whom I cannot identify.
Now, you say after you all arrived at the location to which you were directed, there was a briefing given to you collectively. Can you deal with that briefing?
Commissioners, if I may, before the briefing commenced, I did ask Kobus to proceed with me to go and buy cold drinks first before we deploy or brief. When myself and Kobus were alone, as per my statement, we went to the convenience store down the road at a BP in Springs Road. At this stage, I told Kobus I'm uncomfortable with the members present to assist us as they are dangerous. Kobus told me to relax as the intel is solid and that the intel was verified by Jaco Hanekom, which made me more uncomfortable. But we went back to the briefing location at 2nd Road, Springs and Sally's Road. Springs Road, sorry, my apologies, and Sally's Village. The briefing commenced.
Apologies, Witness D. Witness D, before you continue, my apologies. Could you try and move closer, either closer to your computer or pull it towards you? Sometimes you are less audible than when you start. I don't know whether it's because you move away. That's much better, thank you. You may continue. You may continue. No, we heard you, but we hear you better now. You may continue.
My apologies again, Advocate. Okay.
It's quite an honor. Thank you, Witness C.
Shortly after arriving, Kobus and Hanekom briefed the teams and we proceeded to the suspect's location in Crocodile Road, Sally's Village in Brakpan. I was alone in my vehicle, a black marked Guardian Security Ford Ranger, and I proceeded to park opposite the property. That was the target property. Present at the premises was the members mentioned, myself and Constable Extien from Highway or Flying Squad, my apologies, and Aiden McKenzie from EMPD. Proceeded to a garage or outside building, outside or just off the main house. And we proceeded to gain entry to an outside room. We found a couple, a male, female, and a baby, infant baby. Constable Extien identified herself and the reason for our intrusion and started asking them about the suspect and his movements, etc. Shortly after this, we received communication that the main team had located the suspect in the main house. We left the family in the outside room and proceeded to the main house and gained access to the house through the kitchen door. On my way to the main house, I spotted a white 4-ton truck with a specific number plate that had been used in the warehouse robbery, which is the vehicle that led us to this particular address. As I entered the house from the kitchen door, I found Fritz, that is Zander Fritz, Constable Zander Fritz, Viandre Pretorius, Kershaw Lee Stolz, Aiden McKenzie was with us, obviously, Kobus, and some EMPD officers I cannot identify, Jaco Hanekom, Etienne van der Walt, present, and then the two SAPS, unknown SAPS officers from Brakpan. And a unknown male who was reported to be the suspect. The unknown male, when questioned, admitted that he was involved in the invasion and the robbery of the warehouse. He claimed, however, that all he did was transport of the stolen property. The suspect further requested that we not hurt him, as he had 500,000 rand in the house in cash, which he tried to bribe us with, or the officers with. After the suspect mentioned the cash, the two unknown members from Brakpan SAPS and Viandre Pretorius then pushed the man into the second bedroom and closed the door behind them. Everyone else, including myself, searched the rest of the house. In the main bedroom, the EMPD officers, unknown to me, found case dockets where the suspect is identified as a suspect in the particular crime or is otherwise mentioned. Some SAPS forensic bags, as well as a number of live ammunition rounds, was found. The other rooms contained various tools or garden tools or welding equipment. I then went into the bedroom where the suspect had been taken to by the Brakpan SAPS members with Viandre Pretorius. I noticed Viandre Pretorius, the suspect, with a plastic bag with the two SAPS Brakpan members assisting him from the right-hand side of the double bed. Tubing is where a plastic bag gets placed over a person's head, and that person gets suffocated to the point that he talks or cannot breathe, no longer breathe, and then obviously that we will, or they would obviously then ask him to talk to us, before, obviously to avoid this from taking place again. I entered the room and sat next to the suspect on the left-hand side of the bed. When Viandre stopped, I asked the suspect to tell me where the stolen stock was being kept. The suspect replied that he will show us. I picked up a wooden table leg that was broken from inside the room, held his legs down with it as to not touch him with my hands as he was wet. Viandre then continued tubing in with the one unknown Brakpan SAPS member, helping to hold him down, while the other was searching the drawers, etc. I got up and left the room. The other people were still searching the room. It was quite clear, or the house, my apologies, Commissioners. It was quite clear at this stage that the stock from the warehouse robbery was not in the house. As I entered the passage towards the kitchen, I saw one EMPD officer taking a bucket of water to the room where the suspect was being kept. In the kitchen, I found Kershaw Lee Stolz searching the cupboards. I walked out of the house and stood on the steps. A short while later, I walked back into the kitchen and found Kershaw Lee on her phone. She ended the call and shouted for everyone to move outside into the yard and went towards the second bedroom. As I moved towards the door, I noticed two unknown Brakpan SAPS members leaving the house in haste. One of them was carrying a small black sports bag. I exited the house. I was joined outside in the garden next to the truck by Kobus and the others. Shortly after this, Viandre and Kershaw Lee joined us. I asked whether a suspect talked, and Viandre responded that he will never ever talk again. A discussion between the law enforcement members then took place as to how to deal with the scene. Kershaw Lee tried phoning a paramedic to declare the suspect dead. Viandre approached me and informed me that he will phone General Feroz Khan to fix this. I in turn responded and said no, as this is DeAndre's problem, he responded and said it's all of us in this, and if anyone talks, he will go to prison for killing them. I walked away from DeAndre, and I walked away from DeAndre as myself and DeAndre have had issues in the past. I saw Yaku Hanekom walking towards us. Yaku then informed myself and DeAndre that the chief will come and sort out the issue. I noticed John Marie Ekstein, Zanner Fritz, and other members leaving, including Kobus Jansen van Rensburg from Coast Guard, to go and look for a firearm to plant at this house.
Apologies, Witness D, you say that Yako informed all of you that the chief would come and sort out the issue. Do you know who he was referring to when he said the chief?
Commissioners, at that stage, I did not know who he was referring to. And as continued in my statement, I walked to the main gate after this was said, and after I noticed the members that I've mentioned walk away to go and get a firearm to plant.
Yes.
I walked to the main gate of the property and saw that my vehicle, which is a Ford Ranger, black in color, marked, was parked in by two marked NPD vehicles, which prevented me from leaving at that point. It made me question the whole scenario and what was currently taking place. A short while after this, Chief Sup Julius Mkwanazi, JD Mkwanazi, arrived at the scene, and we were informed that this is the chief in a dark tracksuit of some sort.
At this time, apologies, Witness, at this time, did you know who Chief Superintendent Julius Mkwanazi was?
It was my first time seeing him that evening, and then it was obviously when Yaku indicated to us that this is Mkwanazi, Chief Sup Mkwanazi.
Did you know what unit or institution he's aligned to?
From the system, I understood that he was EMPD or Metro Police.
EMPD, you say?
Yeah, or Metro Police, from the rank structure.
Thank you. You may continue.
Thank you, Commissioners. So Yaku Hanekom and DeAndre addressed him as chief, and the Metro members, including Yaku, Kershaw, Etienne was with me at that stage. So the Metro members, they all had a meeting with the SUP away from myself and Etienne. Shortly afterwards, they returned to where we were. JD Mkwanazi said that we needed to throw the suspect's body into a mine shaft or dump it into a dam. As he said this, he looked at me. DeAndre then in turn informed me that I must take the body and dump it. They will show me where and that I should relax. Since my vehicle is marked, DeAndre said it won't attract any attention. I was directed by DeAndre at this stage where to park my bakkie next to the front door. That is as you're coming from the main gate. I was escorted to my vehicle by two EMPD members and told where to park it. Yaku Hanekom essentially broke the gate to allow my vehicle entry into the property. I parked my vehicle at the designated spot and walked towards the main gate where I remained until they were finished.
Before you continue, Witness D, apologies, before you continue, you say that when Chief Superintendent Mkwanazi said that the body should be thrown into a mine shaft or dumped into a dam,
yes.
You make the point of stating that when he said that, he looked at you. What did you interpret that to mean?
Commissioners, it was quite clear at this stage that it was expected from me to dispose of the deceased body. And as I said, it's especially after the meeting took place between themselves. It was quite clear that they decided between themselves that I'm the one that's supposed to dispose of the body. And
did you so agree?
I really didn't have a chance to agree. I felt like I was being forced. At this stage, I felt that I was being outnumbered. as the decision was made already, and we're dealing with a very serious and dangerous situation at this stage already.
Yes.
So I interpret it as if I don't comply, then I would probably be next.
Okay.
Okay, still just a moment.
Do I switch on
Do
the
I
mic?
switch on the?
Let's try that.
Let's try that.
Commissioner, perhaps if you mute on your screen, there might not be a feed.
Yes. Is it much better? Witness D, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Commissioner.
Yes. Up to this point, you referred to the other person as the suspect. Now, for the first
Yes.
time, you are saying it is the deceased. Can you just confirm for the commission how the deceased died, or how did the suspect die? Because up to this point, you were referring to him as the suspect, and you referred to that procedure that was used to torture him. Then you say now for the first time he's the deceased. So just confirm for us how he died.
Commissioners, I cannot attest to how the deceased passed away, as I was not present at that stage in the room. And also, we were not, when Deandre and Kershali's stalls came out of the house, we were not informed of how he died. It was merely from what Deandre said, which is he will never talk again. We arrived at the conclusion that, or myself arrived at the conclusion that the deceased is in fact deceased and no more.
His mother tells us one thing, that if you talk, you die. And the people you're exposing can reach you, even if you're under the spotlight of the commission or you think you're protected by the law.
King David Studio Podcast.